Okay, I wanted to put this short video together because I've been asked now a number of times how to do this, and from what I've seen online, there are some people who are doing it wrong and wondering why they're not getting any results, and a lot of other people who still haven't even heard of using magnetic fields to grow plants. So first of all, when you get your magnet, from a speaker cabinet for example, just like this one, it needs to be waterproofed. You need to put it in some kind of plastic or polythene bag, because when you water the plant, the water needs to be exposed to the magnetic field, but not exposed to the magnet itself. If you don't waterproof the magnet, it could corrode, and this won't be any good for the soil. Secondly, the magnet needs to go beneath whatever you're growing. Sounds obvious, but I've seen some people just placing magnets on the surface of the soil next to the plant, which will in all likelihood do nothing, because again, this is about magnetizing the water, not magnetizing the plant itself. Thirdly, if you want to run an experiment and see a clear difference between magnetized and non-magnetized plant growth, you need two separate pots or beds. One needs to be completely isolated from the other. I've seen some experiments where a magnet is just placed in one end of a bed and no obvious results are seen. Well, this is because if you don't separate the magnetized and non-magnetized areas, the magnetized water will just find its way from one part of the experiment to the other. So that's the setup. Now let's have a look at what actually happened in these two experiments. Everything about these two pots is the same. They're the same size, contain the same compost, the same seeds, the same watering schedule, and the same exposure to sunlight. The only variable was the magnet placed in the bottom of one of the pots. After 2 weeks, a clear difference in growth was seen. Here, after another 2 weeks, and after 2 months and repotting, the growth of the plant in the magnetized pot still exceeded the non-magnetized pot and had also started to flower. This is a more recent experiment that's ongoing with 2 larger separated beds. Again, exactly the same procedure, same everything. The only variable was the 3 magnets that were buried in one of the beds. This is after 3 weeks. This is after 4 weeks. And as you can see, pretty much the same results. The growth is bigger, faster, and more dense in the magnetized bed. So why does this happen? Magnetism definitely has an effect on water. This is an element that's boiled tap water for 7.5 hours, and the scale produced is coarse and unevenly distributed. This is the same element that's boiled tap water for the same amount of time, but tap water in this case that's flowed through a magnetic field. The scale produced here is much finer and far more evenly distributed, and this may explain why plants grow faster and larger using magnets, because they can draw up these finer particles of calcium carbonate more easily, compared with having to deal with larger, rougher flakes. Taking a closer look using a scanning electron microscope, you can actually see a distinct difference in the crystalline structure of the 2 scale samples. This is the non-magnetized scale, and this is the magnetized scale. As you can see, a much cleaner and more ordered crystalline structure. So the following questions are raised. Does the polarity and configuration of the magnets make a difference? Doesn't seem to at the moment, but further research and experimentation could provide more information. Does the number of magnets or strength of the magnetic field make a difference? My guess would be yes, but only further experimentation will confirm or refute this. Does the depth to which the magnet is placed beneath the plant make a difference? Again, probably yes, and again, further research and experimentation is needed. Does the calcium carbonate content of the water affect the results? Difficult to tell at the moment because both of these experiments were performed outside and received a mixture of tap and rain water. And this is the other reason for putting this video together. Much more investigation needs to be done. If those questions could be conclusively answered, this process could be refined, optimized, and nailed down in terms of scientific repeatability. For example, if you live in a hard water area and calcium carbonate is not the critical mechanism for achieving these results, it may be possible to forego burying magnets in pots and beds and simply put them straight into your rainwater butt. which would then carry these beneficial effects everywhere. In about 10 years' time, the northern hemisphere of the planet will experience another grand solar minimum, which is a period of decreased sunspot activity where the temperatures on Earth drop, the growing seasons shorten, and the crop yields decrease. It's a cyclical event which occurs every 400 years, and the two main differences between now and the last time this happened in the 1600s are the global population, which is nearly 16 times what it was then, and the soil quality, which according to the Soil Association here in the UK is degraded in 1/3 of the world's arable land. Under those circumstances, the benefits of such a simple and low-maintenance method of increasing food production are obvious. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe to this channel, and most importantly, share with anyone who would be interested in taking this research further.